everybody. Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. Hello, my name is Ann Gilbert, and I'll be your hostess tonight. As you're entering the webinar, remember how important it is to go down to the chat button on the bottom of your screen and open the chat and let us know where you're viewing from. Hi, Mary from Maryland, right? Tell us why you're here. Tell us what you're hoping to get out of the presentation tonight. And as everyone comes in, we'd love to know where you're viewing from. Okay, there's 3 of us on the panel tonight from Florida. We're probably sleeveless. It's like 95 degrees tonight in Florida. Alabama, Tallahassee, Wisconsin, North Carolina. Welcome, everybody. It's good to see. I see some of the names of people I know. I heard a lot from you, many of you today, about what you're hoping to get from the presentation today. We're talking about reopening your pools, and also we're here to share strategies that have worked for all of us, because every single person on this panel's pools have been open for more than a year. So we've made some mistakes and we've had some great successes. So we're hoping that you will, in this post-COVID time, or this still COVID time, walk away tonight with some great strategies. That being said, I'd like to introduce my panel tonight. I'm going to start with Billie Wartenberg. Hi, Billie. Billie has been in the industry for over 28 years. She is the Wellness and Fitness Director or Manager at Trilogy in Orlando, Florida. She has won SCW's Fitness Idol. I think it was in 2016. I was there. I voted for you, Billie. She is a master trainer for several of the fitness organizations across the country. And she comes to us with this amazing enthusiasm and constant positive attitude. So Billie, welcome. Thanks for being with us tonight. I want to introduce Chris Jensen next. Chris has been a fitness professional for over 20 years. So if you're counting up the years of experience, guys, you've got almost 100 years of fitness experience to work from and really dig at tonight. Chris started in traditional aerobics. That's really interesting. And now he has a repertoire that is this long and this big, and he's adding new expertise and specificities to his library as we speak. Recently, as a personal trainer, and also with a new yoga certification. We're anxious to hear from Chris because he has brought a lot of new specificities into his aquatic environment. Chris, thanks for being with us tonight. Thanks for, okay, Rosie Malahan. Rosie and I go way back. We started one of my fitness franchises together about 6 years ago. She has over 15 years of experience in teaching, a master's degree, and also as a certified trainer with ACE. And we welcome Rosie tonight. She works with Billie at Trilogy. They have an aquatic environment that is really unique and exciting. And we want to share all of those strategies with you. My name's Ann Gilbert, again, a master trainer for SCW on the faculty, have taught the certification, aquatic certification over the years, about 12 years. But I've been in the business for 38 years. And I just want to add this, and then I want to introduce the first question for tonight. For about 38, maybe 36 years, I've been trying to get my land participants into the pool. I have. And since COVID, I'm seeing more and more people take what I call the plunge into the aquatic environment. And I kind of want to start with that question tonight, because we talked about it as a group. What are you seeing? Are you seeing people feel comfortable in the aquatic environment? And are you seeing more and more people coming from land? And what is their response to taking that plunge? Okay, Billie, let's start with you. What are you seeing?
Okay. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining. Yes, we are seeing so many more land people coming into the aquatic environment. They are loving it. And we're seeing them actually buy the clothes. They're buying rash guard shirts. They're buying wetsuit tops. They're buying Aqua Fitness shoes and gear. And their doctors, so many of their doctors are recommending them to go into the pool because of the many benefits that we all know of in aqua fitness. But their doctors are sending them to the pool. They're coming in, they're trying it, and they're realizing their eyes are opened up. What an incredible workout it is. We're seeing so many other members too that that come into the pool to balance out all of the other land exercises that they're doing. And it's been really, really cool.
So you've seen an increase in cross training from
Yes.
land to water. Rosie, anything to add to that question?
I think also really, really exciting is that the recognition that Billie talked about in terms of those who have some serious wear and tear on their joints and muscles from all sorts of other past athletic performance and land-based class, they're finally recognizing the benefit to water simply because it was the only game in town for a little while. And now they are hooked and they're excited and they're feeling better and they're moving better and they're creating really fun relationships. The Aqua community is so welcoming and so friendly. And maybe it's because you can, for the most part, only see from here down on everybody. There's a lot less worry and judgment. So I'm so happy that they found a love there.
Chris, are you seeing more comfort? Are you seeing people comfortably return?
Absolutely. And I don't know that I can say that those that are now coming to the pool for the first time from land, that it's a result of COVID. But as I'm bringing more formats to the pool, like transitioning Pilates into the pool, transitioning barre into the pool, it's very easy for me to grab my land participants and say, hey, we're doing this now. You need to try this. Or even as a personal trainer to tell my clients, some of which I write very specific programs for, Monday, 9 a.m. water, I'll see you there. This is what you need to bring. It's just kind of not a question. You need this in your life. And then they'll just show up. It's really, really great. But yes, we are seeing a lot more people coming to the pool that have never been there before.
So the introduction of specificities and variety that people are used to seeing on group fitness schedules in land, we're now seeing in the aquatic environment. Would you agree with that, Rosie? Have you added new specificities, new names of classes, if you will, rather than calling it the 9:30 class as we have in the past? What are you seeing? What's an interest there?
I'm seeing a love for specificity. And I think what's neat too is that in the pool, you really have the option of adding it in pieces. So maybe if you really did have a very broad class in the beginning, so maybe putting a little bit of yoga barre, aqua yoga barre, putting a little bit of aqua kickboxing, adding in some of those aqua Zumba moves into your classes, and then they get excited and they're, ooh, that was actually really fun. It's maybe not something I would have initially tried, but now I've done 5 minutes of it and I'm kind of hooked. And so that leads to requests for more types of classes.
That being said, are you doing any surveying since you've reopened as to how they're doing with the specificities, Billie?
Oh yes, for sure, for sure. And wanted to add to a little bit to what Rosie said. So when Aqua was the only game in town, it was limited numbers, and we had 2 classes back to back, the exact same copycat. So member classes would fill up like that, so they wouldn't be able to get into one. So then it would be, it's okay, you have the same class the next one. Well, then the studios opened up, and so then we did add a little more variety. So the one class was, same like what they were used to. And then one day, a couple days a week, it was an interval training class. So they're getting Aqua, but they're getting a different flavor of it. And then as more studio classes opened, we had to keep the Aqua going. So then we changed, added another variety with Aqua Yoga Barre. And Rosie rocked with that, Aqua Yoga Barre. And then as things were changing, again, you need to keep adding. We added an Aqua running and conditioning class. And a class, like Rosie said, where it just offered just such a great variety with that. So then, so definitely plug and play a wide range of options and opportunities of different types of classes that would really attract your land people. But as far as tracking specificity and seeing how they're doing, is that what we're talking about right now? Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're good.
So in, for instance, that running class where they would do a 20-second Tabata run, 10-second rest, 20-second Tabata run, 10-second rest, and we go through 8 cycles, right? So often you would see members run first, and then they kind of get lazy, or they get distracted. So no, we want to keep this intensity up. So every time a foot struck the bottom of the pool, they would count. So that 20 seconds, whatever that number is, if that number is 55, then the next 20 seconds, you want to either hit that 55 number or you want to try to reach that number. You want to increase that number. Or we're doing a strength interval of within 30 seconds. Let's see how many times we can get a push-pull, 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 and count the number. And then, or Sunshine Superman, count the number. So then you do give them target goals so then they can really track and see, how they're improving. And same with flexibility. Kick your leg low. Okay, so now could you maybe reach a little bit higher in the wall of the pool or maybe the edge of the pool, just trying to really improve flexibility and range of motion. So
and it sounds like we used to have them just follow along, and now we're actually setting specific goals. And when we discussed this before we got together tonight, Chris, you said something about introducing Aqua Bar, I think it was, and how people were all of a sudden aware of their body. They were talking about being sore or getting stronger all of a sudden. Can you elaborate on that?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, when it comes to being sore, that was like the initial early feedback I got after the first week of class. They all woke up the next day and just felt things they haven't felt in a very long time. And then my mind started working and I started thinking, I want to know this. I want to know when my class wakes up sore. I want to know when they wake up sore again. I want to know when the soreness starts to go away. I want to know when the soreness is gone, because when they're not feeling it anymore, we need to work those muscles differently. So now I always encourage them, let me know what you're feeling. Let me know when you're sore, when you're not, and we'll go from there.
It sounds like from what everyone's saying that we've become better coaches, wouldn't you say? And in doing so, and we're giving this personal attention, would you say you've seen an increase in small group training or personal training in your facilities, Rosie?
I think we've seen an increase in the moving from one to another. So before, maybe it was very, very cliquey. Maybe the small groups were staying together. But now what I'm seeing is now with this rush of excitement about their bodies and functional training, they want to know what to eat. They want to know how much water they should be drinking. They want to know how to read nutrition labels. They want to know how to use the gym equipment. So it's so good that their recognition from the pool, from what they're feeling, is now transforming their whole well-being. And it's making them more educated. It's empowering them, and they're feeling so good about collecting all that information so that they can make good decisions.
Have you set up any challenges in your clubs or in your facilities in the aquatic environment that goes along with that increased desire to find how their body's moving? Chris?
Where I am currently, we've not done anything like that, but in the past, we definitely have, and I've found great success with that in so many different ways. I mean, just the way it bonds the people together with the sense that, hey, we're all in this together. They're all learning something new through the challenge. Whatever it is that you're presenting to them as the challenge might be something that they didn't even consider. Maybe they're coming to class every day because their doctor told them it's a good way to get their heart rate up. And then, depending on what the challenge is, they might look at this differently and go, oh, I wasn't even thinking that. I'm getting that from this class each and every time I come. So then they start to think of it as more than just getting the heart rate up, but strength, flexibility, balance, mobility, agility, so much.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Billie, anything to add on that question?
Yeah, with challenges, it's so some of our
Tell us
classes.
again about that Tabata challenge. I know you've already mentioned it once, but go back there and tell us specifically so people can write that down as a strategy.
Okay, so Power Music has a great Tabata track where when the girl, if you're looking for music to go along with it, it's not dings that are kind of loud on people's ears or buzzers. It's a pleasant girl's voice, I know, that says prepare, work, and then ready, rest. It's just a voice. And so she does the 20 seconds on, 10-second rest. But each time the foot strikes the bottom of the pool, So and they count on fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 2, 3. So they're counting in groups of tens so that they don't have to go like 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, you know, all that. So, but then after the 20 seconds, whatever that number is, so let's say they hit 57 strikes each time a foot hit the bottom. So then they have that number. So in the next 20 seconds, they want to either hit 57 strikes again, or they want to increase it. And that's just a great way for them to stay on task rather than getting distracted or slow down. If they need to slow down, of course, they have the freedom to slow down. And same thing if they're doing shoot throughs or sunshine supermans, and we do timers with those. Only if their body, they can do strength and get the numbers in. So then they remember those numbers. Within the 30 seconds, was I able to get 7 of them in? Okay, so now the next interval that we're going to do, the next 30 seconds, I want to try and get 7 or maybe go to 8 or 9, increase. Another fun challenge though is using the real land weights in the water. So if your club is ever getting rid of old weights, take them to the pool and use them in the pool. So we've had a lot of members who would never touch strength training at all with a real land weight. And so at first we're like, that's okay. Just do the moves, just go through the range of motion without the weights, using the water, you know, with the biceps, triceps, anything. And then gradually then we've seen people grab 2-pound weights and do it. And now I'm seeing these ladies and men who would never work on strength training with real land weights. They've been grabbing 4 and 5 pounds, and we just had a dude the other day that had 10-pounders. It's awesome. Yes. So it's really, really cool. So
those are great. Those are ways that we're challenging our members. Question on the chat. Billie, can you describe a sunshine Superman? That's a lot of S words for me.
Thank you, Ann. Some areas of the country calls it suntan Superman. So if you have your Aqua dumbbells or you're just using your own natural resistance, it's like you're laying out in the sun with your legs out, like you're on a lawn chair. That's your sunshine or your suntan. Mm-hmm. Tuck in or go to a pike in. Pikes are a lot harder. And then you bring your body out like you're Superman flying. So then you go through those intervals of lay out, press in, Superman. So then each one, forward and back, that's 1. Forward and back, that's 2. And then members who don't feel comfortable being suspended, because we face that too, Rosie, right? We have a lot of members that they just don't feel comfortable going suspended. Then we have them count their kicks. So 2 kicks forward, 2 kicks back, 2 forward, 2 back, or a pike jump forward, jog heel back, pike jump. So there's a lot of different ways that you can also alter it and modify it for your members that just, they don't feel comfortable suspended.
So generally speaking, the sunshine Superman is a supine to prone position movement, right? And you make people feel comfortable by doing the counting with the kicking. Right?
Well, that's the challenge. Yes.
Chris, anything specific you can say about bringing Pilates into the pool? People are asking for specific exercise ideas for the specificities that we've discussed.
Well, I am very happy to say that one of my most recent endeavors was to become reformer certified. So that's something that I've started to actually work with and train clients within the last 6 months. But with my years and years of aquatic background, my mind started working, of course, wait a minute, how can we create these reformer movements in the water? So that's something that I'm constantly working on right now, be it through noodles, dumbbells, kickboards. Kickboards are a fantastic tool. And, you know, any of you that teach any of these other formats, be it Pilates or yoga, even if you don't teach these formats, if you have questions about these formats, I'd recommend you go out, take a class, try a class, get some ideas. Even once you've taken that next step and gotten some sort of certification that'll allow you to integrate these things into your classes a bit more efficiently, I can't say enough how important it is to actually get in the water and try everything that you want to do with your participants before you actually present it to them. You know, I know sometimes you might be on your way in to teach and get this brilliant idea. Oh, we have to do this today. And you just do it and it doesn't work. And I think when we're using equipment, no matter what it is, it's so important that you do it first, make sure it works, do it at different depths, do it with different versions of the equipment, pretend you're your participants. So,
Chris, give us a specific exercise pattern or joint movement, whatever you want to call it, with the kickboard that you were talking about.
Actually, I have them do a sequence. This ties right into Sunshine Superman. I will have them do that with a kickboard under each arm where they're rolling out and then rolling back. Same concept. And then after we get through a set of those, we'll release one kickboard. We'll do some work with one foot on a kickboard where we're doing our leg circles, trying to keep the kickboard submersed. We'll do the other side, then we'll do some arm work, same thing. So,
have you been able to introduce any of these patterns, panel, into one-to-one personal training? Rosie, Billie, who wants to chime in on that one? One-on-one personal training.
We run into the problem in our pool with the fact that our pool is in a community. So our community of members, we have the pool for a certain amount of time each day that is dedicated to the fitness people. And so we have to kind of make sure that we're not stepping on anyone's toes in that sense. But if you are bringing in PT, and we've done it before, because sometimes, especially during those rainy days or overcast days, we have an outdoor pool. So sometimes we're not going to have a big class. And what does that mean? That means that you really get to personal train with those who do show up. And that's an advantage. Not only is it a way for them to bond and get to know you better, but even more importantly, it's a way for you to get to know their goals, their bodies, what their perceived abilities are. And then we get to move on from there. So being able to use the pool as a way to work on gait, as a way to work on balance, proprioception and your awareness in the water, moving in different planes of motion and having resistance from all angles. All of these are things that as a personal trainer, you can really focus on once you can convince your participants to get in. And I see a question: what should you do in colder water? As a Floridian that teaches through the winter months, something that's worked really well for us are 1 millimeter to 2 millimeter wetsuits and rash guards. So if you do have the option and you have some individuals that are a little bit chilly in the water, Amazon, fantastic. It turns in a little bit of fashion show, not only at the pool. So they have their layers on and they are ready to go. There are options for pants, there's options for booties, there's options for hoods and jackets. So if your participants need a little bit of layering, that's always an option.
So Chris, with that being said, with colder water, have you ever introduced faster actions or change in tempo to accommodate for different temperatures in the water?
I absolutely have. I haven't had this experience so much where I am now in Ohio. I've only been with one facility since I've moved here, but my years and years in Wisconsin, I remember being in some facilities coming in, our scheduled class is water yoga and the water's 74. It's like, oh, we can't do this. We're going to have to do something different today. So I've been in situations where it's like, we've got two choices. We can either go home or we can change our expectations for today. We can pick up the pace a little bit and make this work. And usually they're willing to find a way to work with you and to make it work. I think when it comes down to that, The way you present it, the attitude you give them is everything. If you're positive about it when things don't go exactly as planned, it's too cold today to do yoga. I know that's what the schedule says. We need to do this instead. But hey, it's going to be great. We're going to have fun. I think they'll go along with you for the journey.
Billie, a lot of people are saying on the chat that their classes are very full, and more new people are joining, not just the facilities, thank goodness for that, right? But also the classes. Can you give us any strategies on how you welcome the new people and why they feel so comfortable in your presence?
Oh, yes, for sure. So, yay that people are going in the pool. Super duper great. So, instructors, we set the stage, we set the tone for everything. And so, not only just doing a welcome, hi, and this is your class, and this is the equipment that you need, but all throughout the class, make sure that you're offering different options and opportunities for different exercises. I always, if there's somebody new, we always introduce them to people around them. And then also, the people that are around them, I give them permission to, and we make sure it's okay with them first, but that they can kind of help coach, especially when you're with a large class. You can't keep your eye on that new one. So you find different leaders throughout your pool and let your leaders kind of love on those people. And always within the warm up as we're going, I don't focus so much on the choreography, but use that as time to, all right, here's knees up, stay 6 feet apart, stay distance, because our pool's very big and packed, but stay 6 feet apart, but turn around and within little clusters, use that as a time for, tell us your name and where you're from, or just different questions, and use that so that right away at the beginning, people feel comfortable with who they're around, because people have to feel comfortable with who they're around, and then also develop kind of a little camaraderie within that group, and just know that this is the place for them, for sure. But then all throughout the class, also offer different opportunities for engagement and modification. If those of you who have large pools, okay, you have large pools and your members might be a little concerned with traveling and big movements and crossing one another. Okay, something that's really, really fun is if you can cut your pool in half and have everybody on this side go to one end, everybody on the other side go to one end. They can face inward toward each other and do some traveling moves in toward the middle, moving back out. They can do that lateral, coming in, coming back out. So then it just develops. You can get the traveling in without ever crossing paths with others, and also just make it fun. And especially when they're looking at each other, high tenning, load exploding, doing big squats and running in and air high tenning, it just really builds that Aqua community even more, that social connectivity even more, because that's what people want so desperately. They want to be around people, again, working out.
With all of this socialization and desire to be social again, what strategies would you share with our group tonight about engagement once the class is over? What are you doing differently about keeping the people engaged? Rosie?
I think a great idea, if you haven't already started doing this, a private Facebook group in your community, and making sure that you take pictures and tagging those individuals and doing shout outs for job well done and congratulations, 10th class in a row in the last 3 weeks, things like that, happy birthdays, referencing, oh, we talked about this recipe in class. Oh, I forgot to send you that podcast, that inspiring podcast, and posting it to that group, because then it extends the relationship from the water to outside of the water, thereby also increasing accountability, because now they have, ooh, that's right, she usually comes on Tuesday to water. I wonder where she is right now. I'm going to check on her, or I'm going to make sure that we have a date for lunch after. And I think that's really, really special that we get that opportunity in fitness to take the relationships beyond the walls or the pool deck of fitness. So anything you can do to make everyone feel special is really, really important. And you lead that charge as the instructor. You lead that through your tone of voice, through your connection, through your, right now we don't have that physical connection, but I do a lot of air hugs and a lot of elbows, and that really does it goes far.
You guys, there's a very, very interesting question on the chat about wearing masks, either instructors and or participants. Anybody want to elaborate on that? Are you wearing masks? Have you seen people wear masks in the club, in the pool? And are instructors required in your area? Chris?
Up until June, when we moved to the outdoor pools, we did have a number of members that were still wearing masks indoors in the pool. And these were members that were vaccinated and chose to still continue.
He might be freezing up. Billie or Rosie, do you have any members that wanted to wear masks or are still wearing masks in the club, in the pool?
Absolutely. At this point, we're in a point in time where it is optional for members to wear masks in and out of our club and in and out of our pool. And it's more about comfort level and just reaffirming that it is absolutely your choice. And we support you no matter what you choose to do. We're still being very, very careful about wiping things down and very careful about space and making sure that everyone has their own space and their own equipment. But in our facility, we are not requiring masks at this point.
In our facility, we don't require a mask on the instructor, but we did move the environment around so that the instructor is standing back from the front row, much further back from the front row. So there is exaggerated social distancing. Chris, are you back with us?
I am. I have no idea what happened there.
We missed you. You're back.
Thank you. I'm happy to be back.
You were talking about masks and some of the members wanting to wear their mask.
Yeah, I believe that when we go back indoors at the end of this month, some of our members will start wearing them again. And I think those that are doing that, they're doing it more as just a sign of solidarity toward their other members, however they may feel, even if they don't feel it's something necessary for them.
Mm-hmm. Any suggestions for instructors that are mandated that they must wear a mask? Billie, would you have any suggestions for them besides moving away?
Hydrate. Yes. And
you have to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Finding a really breathable mask is important too, because not all masks are the same. So making sure that you are getting enough oxygen is really important, especially with the amount that we talk.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Anybody have any other suggestions for instructors that are mandated to wear a mask?
Yeah, I'm going to jump in here again. Before we went outdoors, there was a time where instructors were mandated to wear masks where I am, even in the pools. And I found that there were just times where I could not demonstrate the highest intensity, even when I wanted to. So what I would do would find a member that would go at that high intensity, and I'd talk to them beforehand. Linda, I know you tend to go all out. You go high intensity most of the class. If I can't do it up here with the mask on, are you okay with me calling you out and saying, hey, if you need a higher intensity option, look at Linda? I would get their permission first. I don't ever want to just put anybody on the spot, but having that as a plan, here's our high intensity so I can keep it down and not feel completely worn out at the end of the class.
That's a great strategy. I'd like to go on to another question, and please continue to put things on the chat that you want us to address. Where do you see the future of your aquatic programming? And be very specific. Billie?
I see the future of aquatic programming growing and exploding. And can I tell you two real quick examples of what we just heard? I'm going to tell you anyway. So about a couple months ago, there was everybody's going to age, right? And just chronologically. And bone density is going to be a biggie. If you're younger, it will be. And those of us who are, we know that it's a biggie. So I get stories of members all the time with, how their blood pressure has improved and, cholesterol levels and weight and just overall energy. But what I'm hearing more and more and more is their bone density. And these are people that are doing Aqua Fitness only. So one lady, her doctor, this was a couple months ago, she was in a scary zone. And her doctor told her that she needs to be in the water rebounding as much as she can for her bones. Isn't that crazy? Usually people were told, water, you can't improve bone density. I've been hearing more and more members that it is. And just 2 days ago, I had another member told me that she got her reports from her doctor and her osteopenia, her numbers have gone down where she almost doesn't have it anymore. And the doctor said, what are you doing? She said, I only do Aqua Fitness. And he said, well, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Keep it up because your numbers are changing. And y'all, real life people, and Rosie, we've had so many members that tell us that their bone density, their structure's gotten better in the water. So be prepared. Because as more and more of your members that they are seeing the incredible benefits to Aqua, they're going to be flooding your pool. So small group training in the water, I love that, Anne and Rosie. Let's make a way to make it happen. Getting the small group training in the water, I think that's going to be huge because more and more members are loving and attracting the small group training as well as personal training one-on-one. We need to be as active as we can in engaging with active agers and active adults. You guys out there, as much as, water in motion, if you are not dialed into water in motion, I would highly, highly recommend, not just because I'm one of the trainers and with SCW, but it is truly one of the best programs out there for your active agers with the platinum, as well as your athletes with, regular mainstream with the regular Water in Motion Original, and then also the new Water in Motion Strength. They offer incredible varieties within each release. There's so much there. And then as much as you can try to offer just a variety within your Aqua Fitness, like Anne said earlier, not just the 9:30 class, right? And then one more thing is we need to toot our own horns as much and as often as we can within your classes. If members tell you a success story, ask them if you can share that, because the more they hear praises, I call them the praise reports, the more they hear those from others, it really inspires them to keep on moving and use other people, whether it be social media or within your classes, use them as shining bright star examples. Like we have one gentleman, his name is Bob, he's 83. He's been doing Aqua Fitness for 30 years, perfect posture. He walks around like he has not shrunk at all, where other dudes that we see around the club his age have severe kyphosis, right? And they have shrunk a lot, but not Bob, who's been doing Aqua for 30 years. And so we want to promote, history, every long-term success, as well as these little praise reports that we get. So we're in an exciting business, you guys. It's awesome.
Chris, anything to add to what you see? To Billie?
Yeah, I absolutely agree that our numbers are just going to continue to explode. I mean, one, as people get older, two, as there's continued research about the ongoing and ever-changing positive benefits of water exercise, and three, as we introduce all these new formats and find new ways to provide even more specificity in our water training. I think our population is going to change, maybe even become a little younger. We're going to be integrating more and more people together, which is a great thing. I've talked a lot about being able to teach on land and on water. And with that background, it's easy for me to get people from the land into the water, even the other way. But going back to my time as a director in different roles, I used to tell my people that exclusively taught water, that I wanted them to go and introduce themselves to the land instructors. So if you're exclusively teaching water, go introduce yourself to the land instructors, take their class, make sure they know who you are, develop a relationship with them, make sure they know what you do and what your program is all about. So as they're talking to their participants, they can go, oh, wait a minute, I just talked to this awesome Aqua instructor here, and this is what they do. I think this will be really good for you. So if you exclusively teach water, make sure that land instructors know who you are and that you've got a relationship with them and can share your programming and reach out to each other's participants to share the benefits.
Rosie, we've been talking a lot about specificities, and you mentioned at the beginning of the program tonight how you give little pieces of new programs, or little try-me portions. Can you elaborate a little bit on that, on how you are introducing some of those new specificities, the yoga and the Pilates and the Tai Chi?
Absolutely. I think that little bits is best in the beginning. And I think that sometimes if you introduce a full class, a brand new class, a full 45, 50-minute class, that it can be intimidating. So by using an already known, loved class and then putting just a little bit here and a little bit there for a taste, it gets people really excited. So I will always continue, I'll always start with my warm up and my welcome, and I'm going to move towards, what I would normally do. And we're going to start this and start that. And everyone's excited and happy. And then before they know it, I'm going to have them doing kickboxing in the water. And they don't know what just happened. We went from just rotations, and all of a sudden now we're jabbing and hooking in the water. And I have that moment to teach and that moment to educate. And then would only last a few minutes, and then we move on. And then, when we do our cool down, now I'm going to be using warriors, and I'm going to be using lunges, and I'm going to be asking them to twist that might be a little bit different from their previous cool down. But now we're naming it, and they're identifying it as, this is a yoga posture. This is something that, that's right, I have seen that on land before. And now they're making that connections. So maybe they're using a new piece of equipment in a different way. Maybe all of a sudden their noodle becomes their bar. And now they realize, I can extend my leg back further, and I can activate my glutes in a way I never thought I could. But that's because it's just a little piece of bar. So I think that we put it in like a sandwich method, where we have the familiar, we add a little unfamiliar, and then we top it off with more familiar, so that it's just a fun addition. But then if you do it regularly, it becomes a thing and something that they look forward to. And then when it shows up on your schedule as an actual class, they know what that is, and they've experienced it, and they're excited about it. I think that's a great way to introduce new types of classes.
On the chat, there's a question: how do we get more men involved in aquatic fitness? Billie, answer that question.
Whoever that was, get out of my brain, because I was just thinking about that. Okay, but Rosie, you failed to mention that you also do a little booty shaking. She does the Rosie.
They have a name for it.
Yeah. So
I was thinking that maybe by introducing the martial arts or the kickboxing, that you might attract more men. Someone
okay.
asked a question on how to attract more men.
Men. Okay, are you ready? Music.
Yes.
Got to play like some AC/DC, some Credence. You've got to do some dude moves.
Yes.
And not have it be foofy or like your grandma class. You have to do dude stuff, and music is key. And it's so funny because they like lose it. They're like air guitaring and, rock on hands. They're just having the best time. So music totally attracts them. The land weights attracts them. Same with the running and the kickboxing, like all of that completely attracts them. And we have some classes, we're only allowed 50 members in each class. And a lot of times, half of them are dudes.
Yep.
Not when Rosie's in her bikini either.
I did not wear a bikini ever to teach. Nice. Nice.
We're getting ready to close, and I know there's a couple more questions out there. I'm sorry if we didn't get to all of the questions on the chat. So I'm going to give you guys about 30 seconds. That's all we get, to just give us some closing inspiration and motivation to get us through these fall months. Some of the clubs out there are just reopening. What would be your thoughts to close tonight? Chris, do you want to start?
Sure. For some of us have been fortunate enough to have been teaching throughout all of this. I'm very grateful that I've been in that position myself, but some of you may just be coming back, and that's wonderful. And know that you're going to be faced with people from all different places who are dealing with all kinds of different things, and just know that you've got the potential to be the best part of their day. So keep that in mind. Whatever you might be feeling right now with what's going on around us, they're probably feeling it too. So just keep that in mind. You've got the potential to be the best part of someone's day.
Rosie?
How can I follow that? That was perfect.
That was perfect.
I think two things really quick. The first is, just like in Land and Aqua, you have an opportunity to really be fun. And I think that we need fun right now, and we need laughter, and let your light shine. Just shine it all over your members. And you can do that through themed classes. You can do that through funny hats or sunglasses. You can do that through really funny moves in the pool that maybe make no sense, but then you can say, ha, look what I just made you do. So you can have fun like that in Aqua. And I have really learned that more so than anything else, there is so much less ego in Aqua Fitness than there is in other land-based classes. So use that to your advantage, because your members will be able to feel sillier and happier and lighter in the water. Use it.
We're almost out of time. Can you close for us?
For me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yes. Ditto everything that was said, and really just keep highlighting how many amazing benefits there are, and let members focus more on their internal benefits versus the external, and just have fun with that.
We want to thank everybody for joining us. We look forward to more sessions with you. Please reach out if you have any questions to any of us, and enjoy your evening. Enjoy your evening. Thanks for tuning in tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.